Have you ever been in an argument where you know for sure that you're right? Sometimes these are factual arguments, where you can pull out your phone and with a quick Google search, prove that you're right. Other times, these are arguments of opinion, but you still know that you're right. And even if you don't, many of us would still argue, because the truth is, none of us like being wrong. This is literally wired into our brains. Studies show that our brains actually react to being told our beliefs are wrong the same way as threats to our physical well-being. We are designed to have different worldviews, and also designed to being averse to being told they're wrong. Every part of our beliefs, from the big opinions down to the little preferences we have, are building blocks to how we perceive the world and ourselves. You can think of it as a Jenga tower, with our experiences, our learnings, our values, and our perceptions building towers of what we believe. An attack on a belief can be like pulling a block out of the tower. Sometimes, the block can be near the top of the tower, and pulling it out might not disrupt too much. Other times, it can be like pulling one from the middle or the base of the tower, and can feel like the certainty of our beliefs is crumbling. This can be uncomfortable and scary, because now we must build from the bottom up, with the new information presented to us. It's human nature to want to avoid this feeling as much as possible. Instead of listening to other perspectives and questioning our own beliefs, we surround ourselves with people who will validate us, even if we may be wrong. But how do we do this? From the friends we choose, to the content we consume, and with algorithms, we're not even choosing for ourselves. We're constantly inundated with people and content that confirms our beliefs and biases, and we don't realize it's happening. Anyone can fall into these traps, but there is a way to break free, and that's with intellectual humility. Intellectual humility is the ability to be open to new ideas, and recognizing your own beliefs and ideas are not the only way to think. It's the ability to change your mind when you're presented with better and more sound information. It's willingness to move into those spaces where being right is less important than being open. It's treating others with the same respect and kindness that you would want when learning. Instead of making someone feel bad for not knowing, it's teaching them and helping them work towards an answer instead of feeling like a failure. Intellectual humility is about how you receive and how you share information. Let me give you an example of a time where I didn't practice intellectual humility. In my social justice class, we were having a political debate, and another student made a comment that I strongly disagreed with. Now, in my very humble opinion, I was objectively right. So I argued against his point to convince him of this. While arguing, my hope was to come across as credible to him and to the teacher and to prove my point. But my approach, in the end, worked against me. My insistence on being right actually undermined my credibility, because I was closed off to considering his point of view. Instead of engaging in a civil discussion to create understanding, I pushed him away, which created animosity between us, which further polarized our opinions. If I had approached this same situation practicing intellectual humility, I might have listened more, been open to the possibility that I wasn't right, tried to understand his point of view, and been willing to adjust my own beliefs to find that common ground of understanding. By doing this, I could have made a connection. And in fact, I would have been perceived as more credible because I would have allowed my beliefs to be challenged by others and myself, but still been able to respectfully defend them. Reflecting on this interaction in my social justice class, I realized it wasn't intuitive for me to have practiced intellectual humility. In school, we're often taught to debate, to defend, and to justify, and we're taught far less to listen, to understand, to empathize, and especially to be open to being wrong. But which is the better way? I'm not saying it has to be all or nothing, but how could we learn to incorporate more intellectual humility into our lives? I think it starts simply with humility, as the name states. Humility is letting go of the fallacy that you are superior and right. This doesn't mean you're wrong, which is what usually triggers us, but it allows for the possibility of both people being right, or for a new reality where neither you nor the other person are objectively right or wrong. As the renowned physicist Niels Bohr says, the opposite of fact is falsehood, But the opposite of one profound truth may very well be another profound truth. Intellectual humility is making peace with and actively practicing this mindset. It sounds simple, but for most of us, it takes a minute and a moment of realization to recognize when we could benefit from intellectual humility. And for some of us, the uncomfortable realization that we may not do this already. The next time you're in a conversation with someone with a different opinion, ask yourself how you could be more intellectually humble. See what that does for your relationship and for your own peace of mind. The next time you're online reading about a topic that matters to you, seek out a news site and see what someone else with a different opinion feels about the topic. Allow it to challenge you, shift your thinking, or strengthen your beliefs. Let intellectual humility permeate into your consciousness and your practice, because the person you are today only exists because the person you were was willing to grow into someone new. Thank you.